Om Dakshinasya Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Smarya Guru Parampara Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaran Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Pariknyanashrama Shri Guru Shankara Pariknyanashrama Shankara Sadguru Keshava Vamana Krishna Panduranga Ananda Parignana Guru Satyo Jata Shankara Sadguru Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now we are coming to the stage to the sutras where Bhagwan Narada Maharishi is talking about the greatness of a Parabhakta. All this time we talked about what is Parabhakti, what are the sadhanas for Parabhakti, what is Gauni Bhakti, that is the 3 types of bhaktis, what are the obstacles that a bhakta can find on his way, on his particular journey, what are all these things we talked about. And now it's going to be talking about the importance or the mahima of a bhakta, of a Parabhakta. Of course, Bhagwan Krishna has said that all the bhaktas are equally great, whether they are Artha Bhaktas or Artharthi Bhaktas or Jignasu Bhaktas. Ultimately, the Jnani Bhakta is the highest, the Parabhakta. But all the other bhaktas are also absolutely great because they are connected with me. Name bhakta pranashyati, he says, which is common to all the 4. But ultimately, we should not stop with Gauni Bhakti. We should not stop with only Artha Bhakti, Artharthi Bhakti, Jignasu Bhakti. We should go to that Parabhakti where Parabhakti and Jnanam is one and the same. A Sthita Prajna, a Parabhakta, a Jnani Bhakta. We have said it's the same. They are all the same. And ultimately, Bhagwan Narada Maharishi's purpose is to take us to that Parama Bhakti, Parabhakti or Jnani Bhakti, Jnana Bhakti, Jnana Rupi Bhakti. He is not happy with our remaining as Gauni Bhaktas. He wants us to go ahead and be Parabhaktas. And now he's going to talk about the Mahima of a Parabhakta. So let's go to the 67th Sutra. There are about 83 sutras in this, and we are in the 67th. Okay, so we have only about 14 or 15 sutras left. So here, in the 67th Sutra, he says, Bhakta ekantino mukhyaha. Bhaktaha ekantino mukhyaha. So ekantinaha means what? What is ekanta? We have to realize that there can be 2 meanings for this. The one who wants to be alone by himself or herself, also by rudhi artha. It is said ekanta. But actually, what is the meaning of ekanta? The one who is only with Ishvara and not dependent on anybody else or anything else. So when I say I'm in ekanta, it means that I am alone only with Ishvara, nothing else. I'm not dependent upon anything else or not dependent upon anybody else. The only thing that I ultimately connect with is with Ishvara. So those who have that ultimate goal of being one with Ishvara, that particular goal, Eka Anta, that is the only goal. All these people, the Parabhaktas or the Jnani Bhaktas, they are Ekantinaha. Ekantinaha means those who have got connection only with Ishvara. Their hearts, their minds, their sense organs, their buddhis are not running after anything. They have a total trust that this is where I belong. I have come home. Swastha. I am where I belong. Ishvara is me. I am that Ishvara. Saha Ishvara ahameva asmi iti. There is no entry to any other thought. Even if there are other thoughts, because you can't say, even a jnani's mind is a mind. A jnani's buddhi is a buddhi. Thoughts are coming. There is no way even a jnani can avoid the thoughts coming. But the thoughts are just like superficial ripples over a calm surface of water. Superficial ripples, they don't affect the underlying calm stretch of water. They just come and they just float away. Similarly, a jnani's thoughts are like this small ripples in water, which come, which are there for some time, and which just immediately pass away. These thoughts, no other thoughts, gets deep-rooted in a jnani's mind. No other thought. Absolutely no other thought which comes and disturbs a jnani. He's an ekanti. That means the one who has only Ishvara in his mind. There is nothing else. There is no other thought. Any other thought, like a ripple, comes on the surface of the mind, just passes away. There's no question of the mind, literally taking root of that thought. The thought does not really take a deep root in the mind and distract the mind away. No. Ishvara is he or she, and she or he is Ishvara. Other than Ishvara, there are no other disturbing thoughts. See, a jnani's mind also functions. A jnani is also an active person functioning in this world. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't mean that the jnani is having only the thought of Ishvara and he's sitting doing nothing else. No, that's not the thing. A jnani also has other thoughts. He's also working. He's also playing his role. He's also teaching. So thoughts will be there. But those thoughts do not alienate him from Ishvara. That is why many of the, Mahatmas, that's what they say. Do your work. Do whatever you are doing. But don't forget Ishvara. Many people talk about taking the nama. Like there are many saints who say, do all the work that you are doing. But let Bhagavan Nama be there all the time in your heart. Let it be there all the time as a background in your mind. Let the other thoughts come and go. Sant Kabir said that. This Mahatma Gondavlekar Maharaj said that. Swami Samarth said that. All the people are talking about the glory of connection with Ishvara. Ishvara Nama or the thought of Ishvara while doing all that we are doing. So when you say Bhaktaha Ekantino Mukhyaha, means these Parabhaktas, the Mukhya Bhaktas, not the Gauni Bhaktas, they are constantly in the thought of Ishvara. The other thoughts are there only as functional thoughts. They can function very well in life. The other thoughts are there, But then Ishvara is the thought. Ishvara is all the time there, and therefore their mind is not distracted. So they are also called as Ananya Bhaktas, Jnani Bhaktas, Avyabhicharini Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. All these are the names given to this Jnani Bhakta. And Jnani Bhakta is also called as what? Sthita Prajna, Sthira Prajna, Sthita Dihi, as Bhagavan was talking about in Bhagavan Krishna was talking about in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And though Krishna says, Udaraha sarve yeva yete, okay, Jnani tu atmaiva me matam, he said, but this Jnani Bhakta is none other than me itself. Okay, so with this, he says, the Bhakta has only one goal, and he is an Ekanti. He is alone with Ishvara alone. Okay, actually speaking, there is no he and Ishvara. As I told you in the last session, if I am there, Ishvara cannot be there. If ahankara is there, Ishvara cannot be there. A vestigial ahankara we all require to function, there's no doubt about it. But Ishvara is the only main thing or the main thought, the main occupant. So I am not different from Ishvara. There is only Ishvara. The I, the ahankara, is a very small vestigial ahankara necessary to live my life, vyavaharikataya, to live my life. And such a bhakta, how is he perceived? Or what are his, what is his way of functioning in life? And how his bhakti manifests? How Ishvara's thoughts or how bhakti manifests? How jnana manifests? When a jnani bhakta, how it manifests? So that's what is said in the 68th sutra. So what does it say? Kantavarodha romancha ashrubihi parasparam lapamanaha pavayanti kulani prithvincha. So he said these bhaktas, kantavarodha, when they are talking about Bhagwan, when they are talking the kirti of Bhagwan, when they are discussing or talking about the glories of Bhagwan, vibhutis of Bhagwan, it's almost that their kantha becomes gadgadha. Kantavarodha means when you are very, very, emotionally one with Ishvara, there are times when your throat gets literally like as if, it is tight. There's a tightness in the throat. There is a lump in the throat. You're not able to speak. Your speech becomes literally as though it is obstructed there. That's what happens when sometimes when we listen to very, very melodious and very, very beautiful bhajans which are talking about the glories of Bhagwan. And those kind of bhajans which talk about the swarupam of Bhagwan. This is what happens. Many times, we have a very tight kind of a lump in our throat, which is called as kantavarodha. So when they are talking about it, when they are thinking of the glory of Ishvara, when they are thinking of the blessings they are in because of their proximity. Proximity means what? Proximity does not mean Ishvara is sitting next to me. No. That intimate relationship with Ishvara, inseparable relationship with Ishvara, that gives them sometimes when they are in that mode of kantavarodha. We have seen that. Many times when these Mahapurushas, Bhaktas talk, they have tears in their eyes. Their voice literally becomes absolutely, they're incapable of talking further. So Kantavarodha, Romancha, when they think about the Lord, when they talk about Ishvara, they are none other than Ishvara, yes. But when they are talking about the glories of Ishvara, talking about the vibhutis of Ishvara, there is a Romancha. I don't have to explain what is Romancha. Okay, Romancha means what you call as the hair standing on its edge, Romancha. that some kind of a feeling where you are not able to express your joy, romancha. You are in awe. You are totally wonderstruck with the wonders, the vibhuti of this is Ishvara, this is me. Okay, so what is said is that romancha ashrubhihi. Yes, it happens. When you listen to a very, very beautiful talk on Ishvara or on Vedanta, when it is beautifully talked about, there is not only this romancha, you get tears in your eyes. When our gurus conduct meditation sessions, there is ashruhu. There is definitely, there are tears in our eyes. That is because slowly we find that all our defenses have fallen down. All our defenses, our mental, psychological, emotional defenses about my being separate from everything else has completely dropped off. I am one with the universe. I am one with Ishvara. And that awe and that wonder is something which many times we are not able to digest it. And then ashru bihi ashru. What happens when does this happen? Parasparam lapamanaha. When they are talking to the other people, parasparam or among themselves, okay, those who are bhaktas, they are talking between themselves, or they are talking about Bhagavad Vishaya only, okay, in the form of anything, in the form of a bhajan or in the form of a kirtan or whatever it is. When they are talking about Bhagavad Vishaya to others, such people show these signs of wonderment. They show these signs of absolutely, where all my defenses are down. And I suddenly realize the gratitude because of which I am able to see this clearly. That gratitude is one which makes me shed tears, which makes my throat to form a lump and not further talk about it, and where, I have the feeling of romanchana. Such people, when such bhaktas are there, what happens? Pavayanti kulani prithivincha. They literally, what do? They purify their kulas. It seems one bhakta, it is said like that. Even the Upanishads say, one jnani bhakta in a particular vamsha, it seems the 7 generations of his vamsha earlier and 7 generations later, they are going to be purified of all their papas. And there are verses in some Puranas where it is said that the Pitrus, it seems, are dancing with happiness in the Pitraloka. That I have a bhakta, a jnani in my kula, and all our papas are gone, and this person has paved the way for our mukti. And Upanishad also says that a person who has understood Jiva Ishvara Abheda, there will be no Ajnani in his kula. There will be no Ajnanis there. The effect of this Jnani Bhakta is so much that there is nobody who is ignorant in his kula. And generations and generations of his ancestors and people to come further, it is said that they are going to be cleansed of their papas. Those jivas are going to be cleansed of their papas, and it helps them to move further on moksha purushartha. And not only kulani, pavayanti prithivincha pavayanti. The entire earth, it seems, is kind of, purified at that time. It is said That, like when Shankaracharya Bhagavan was born, it seems the whole universe was celebrating. Akala flowers started, blooming, which do not bloom in that particular time. Fruits which do not come at that particular time started appearing, on the trees. The seasons, it was supposed to be the best at that time. And the sun was rising with a tejas which was never seen before. All these are talked about, and this is so because it seems even the Mother Earth celebrates a Jnani Bhakta. Because a Jnani Bhakta has his influence, known or unknown, to us on so many people around us. The work that he does, the words that he speaks, the Shastra that he teaches, it not only purifies Pavayanti. Pavayanti means those bhaktas literally cleanse their own, what you call as the kulas. Not only that, Prithivīncha Pavayanti. And it is said that they are, the ones who make even this earth proud of themselves. So, in Bhagavad Gita also it says, Machchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam. Machchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam. Talking to each other. Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. It's there in the 10th chapter. All the glories that, my glories, those who are parasparam, they are talking about, they are happy talking about it. They are shedding tears, they are gadgada, they have romanchana. Why? When Bhagavad Gita ends and when Sanjaya reports what he saw and what he heard as the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, what does he say? He says he had romancham. That Vishwarupa Darshana also was, it was a romanchakara. He says that was something I have never experienced before. He says that my throat wanted to lump, my tears in my eyes, and there was romanchana for me. Sanjaya, who was reporting whatever was happening in the war field, was also the one who was reporting that to, Dhritarashtra, the blind king. He has experienced it there. And therefore, it is said that, it is these kind of people who are all the time thinking, talking, speaking, everything, only Ishvara, because they are Ishvara. And all glories of Ishvara are their glories. They see any glory anywhere as Ishvara's glory. And therefore, Pavayanti Kulani Prithivincha. Their whole Kula of so many generations, Pavayanti, and not only that, Prithivincha Pavayanti. They purify like fire. Jnanagni Dagdha Karmani. Jnana Agni, which is ultimately nothing but Parabhakti. What does it do? It literally washes away the karmas of millions of lives, and it also purifies, like the Agni purifies their entire kulas. That's what is talked about. Then, next one, it is said here in the 69th verse. What does Bhagavan Maharishi Narada say? Tirthi kurvanti tirthani sukarmi kurvanti karmani satshastri kurvanti shastrani. So here he says other glories or the mahimas. So not only do they purify their own kulas, their own gotra, their own kula, their families. Not only that, they purify the entire earth. Not only that, he goes into in the form of what is the meaning of entire earth? What is the meaning of that? That is what is going to be shown here. And he says, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. All the tirtha sthanas are purified or glorified. Now let me tell you, what are these tirtha sthanas? The rivers, some places, some sthanas, some temples, which are considered in Sanatana Dharma as the purifying places. And people want to visit them. People want to go and offer their worship and seva in the Tirtha Kshetras. How did they get the the name or the importance of a Tirtha Kshetra? Because of the presence of Ishvara in the form of many, many jnanis. Where you take the Himalayas, whether you take all our, rivers that we talk about, forests which we talk about, what is it that has made a tirtha into tirtha? It is said that it is the sanidhyam of Mahapurushas. It is the sanidhyam of great bhaktas. A bhakta is Ishvara only, ultimately, isn't it? Ishvara is not different from a bhakta. So what is said here is the sanidhyam of bhaktas has made a sthana, converted a sthana into a tirtha sthana. Okay, so many are there. If you take Kashi, you take, or you take any of the tirtha sthanas. It is because of what? Because of the presence of these bhaktas, which has made all the tirtha sthanas are tirthas as tirtha sthanas. So, for years, for centuries, these kind of places have been inhabited by bhaktas, by jnanis. Either they are known or they are unknown. And they are there in these kshetras. And in these kshetras, that presence of them has made tirthi kurvanti tirthani. The tirthasthanas are getting their mahima, their punyatvam, and that which is transferred to us when we take a pilgrimage. Why do we take pilgrimages in our tradition? In Sanatana Dharma, so much of value is given to pilgrimages. Why? Because in those tirthasthanas, which have been homes to many, many jnanis, many, many bhaktas, their vibrations are still there. Their presence is still there. The temples where they served, the temples with Ishvara, they are still there. And therefore, tirthi kurvanti tirthani, tirthi kurvanti. That means whatever importance a tirthasthana gets, which makes it a very, very auspicious place, is because of the presence of such kind of bhaktas. Sukarmi kurvanti karmani. Sukarmi kurvanti karmani. What is the meaning of Sukarmi kurvanti karmani? All the karmas, whatever karmas are to be done, Vaidika karmas, Nitya karmas, Naimitika karmas, whatever to be done, or Pitru karyas that are to be done, whatever karyas whether to be done, karmas, these people have done it. And there are places where such karyas are also done because of the presence of these bhaktas who have done these kind of karmas. So what is said is all the dharmika karmas which are supposed to be done. When people go away from dharma and when people want to know why such things have to be done, then the living proof is these jnani bhaktas. Because they have the capacity to bring people back into the path of dharma. They have the capacity to make people do karmas that are good for oneself and for the propagation of dharma. So, it is said that, the karmas that are to be done are the karmas which have been literally, pramanikritani by these people, who the bhaktas. That's what has been. So all these karmas which follow a particular certain rules and certain regulations, certain disciplines, it is because these bhaktas have followed and shown to us that this is the way a dharmic life should be led. That is the reason bhai, what he says, sukarmi kurvanti karmani. And one more thing is, whatever karma a jnani bhakta does is a sukarma only. Any karma that a jnani does is a blessed karma. So it is sukarmi kurvanti karmani. All the karmas are become, literally they become sacred. Okay, he makes them. And by that sacredness, he makes us also to do whatever is to be done dharmically. And then, such shastri kurvanti shastrani. Shastri kurvanti shastrani. Now we all know that the shastra or our scriptures are the greatest pramana. Fine? Pramana means what? The greatest proof. Pramana. The greatest proof, the greatest validation of what is to be done, what is right, what is not right. That is the greatest validation is from the Shastras. But then, Shastras are not living, they are words. Vedas, Shastras. But those pramanas have to be lived by somebody to show us that this is the Shastra pramana, correct? So we need Veda, gurus of Veda and Vedanta. We need these Jnani Bhaktas, Pramani Kurvanti. That means what? They are such Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. Mere Shastras in the books are not going to be of any help to us because we may not even understand them. And over a period of time, when the Shastras become weaker and weaker because of the human ragadveshas becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, okay, Kalena, that which was Nasha, the Bhagavan Krishna says, he said, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, when he said, after a long time, Kalena Mahata, this particular Shastra or this particular understanding, yoga, got lost, he says. Why? Because Shastra is there. But there should be somebody who literally lives the Shastra. Okay? There should be somebody who teaches Vedanta and lives Vedanta. Then only Vedanta is going to be propagated. Yes, Vedanta is there. There are so many Shastras talking about Aham Brahmasmi. But if there is no one living the life, living the Aham Brahmasmi, there's no one who is going to, propagate this knowledge in a way that is understood. Then what is the purpose of Shastra? So for the Shastra to be made available in a palatable form to the people, to understand what the Shastra is telling, we need Jnani Bhaktas. We need Jnanis, we need Bhaktas, Jnani Bhaktas. They are all the people who are Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. Sat Shastri Kurvanti means Shastra becomes a living pramana because of them. Shastra is the highest pramana for Ishvara, for Brahman, the highest pramana. There's no doubt about it. But then this pramana has to be made alive. And who are the people who are the living pramanas of Shastra? It is none other than these Jnani Bhaktas. So he says, Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. So not only Pavayanti Kulani Prithivincha, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, Sakarmi Kurvanti Karmani, Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. The Shastras become alive. Vedanta becomes alive because of these Jnani Bhaktas. The Tirtha Kshetras become alive. They attract the crowds because of these Bhaktas, Jnani Bhaktas. Sukarmi Kurvanti. Sukarmi Kurvanti means what? They literally make every karma auspicious. All the karma. That's why, many times when we start something new, we always call a person a bhakta, a Vedantin or a Swami. Why? Because that karma becomes a, sat karma, whatever is being done. So that is what is sakarmi kurvanti, that is sukarmi kurvanti. All the karma becomes a sukarma. So next we know. So there is one quote which I have noted down. Bhakti hinena yat kinchit kritam sarvam asat kritam. That is, when bhakti hinena, without bhakti, when you do any karma, it may be the highest of the karma, Vaidika karma. Okay? That is bhakta hinena, without any bhakti hinena, without any bhakti. Yatkinchit kritam, whatever is done. Sarvam, okay? Asat kritam. That is not something done at all. It is of no value. Then we come to the 70th sutra, which says, why is this so? Why all these things are talked about? That is, he says that tirthi kurvanti, then all this sat shastri kurvanti, then pavayanti kulani, pavayanti prithivincha. Why? How? Why is it that we are not able to do it? If I go to a particular place, does it become a Tirtha Kshetra because I have gone there? No. Isn't it? All the karma that I do, is it a Sat karma? No. Then what is it that is ultimately, why is that a Jnani Bhakta has this kind of a Midas touch? You have heard of Midas touch? Whatever that king, he took a kind of a blessing from the Lord that whatever I touch should become gold. Like that, a bhakta, a jnani bhakta, whatever he does is a satkarma, whatever he talks is shastra, wherever he goes is tirtha kshetra, wherever he is, that earth there is purified, sanctified. That's the word, sanctified. In his presence, people around him are sanctified. Generations of his, kula is swamsha is sanctified. Why? Why all these things? In the 70th sutra, Narada Maharishi says, Tanmayaha. Beautiful word. Tat mayaha, tanmayaha. Those who are inseparably merged. Tanmaya. Totally. Swarupataya. Merged means what? Not that two things are there and coming together. They see that they have never been separated from Ishvara. They have always been one. It is because of my ajnana, I always thought myself to be an individual different from Ishvara. None of us are different from Ishvara. All of us are Ishvara. Aham Brahmasmi, all of us, it applies to us. We are all Brahma only. But why is it that we don't feel it? Because of the avidya. Because the avarana shakti of avidya or maya, we feel that. Therefore, if all these things are happening in the presence, of a bhakta jnani, a jnani bhakta. Why? Because he is tanmaya, literally one with Ishvara. What examples can we give of tanmaya? When a river gets itself into the ocean, the name, the body, the rupa, nama, rupa, everything becomes merged with the sea. Isn't it? Once the river merges with the sea, is there any way in which we can differentiate? Can we differentiate and say that this is the river and this is the sea? We can't do that. Actually, I have mentioned it many times before during our earlier sessions also, that it seems the ocean itself comes a few miles at the delta to receive the river. It's not that the ocean is here and the river is coming there. No. It seems the ocean itself comes to embrace the river at the delta. So even a few miles before the river has actually joined the sea, it seems the water in the delta is salty. The same thing with the Bhakta and Ishvara. You see, when I am Ekanti, my ultimate goal is only Ishvara, nothing other than that. If I walk one step towards Ishvara, Ishvara will be walking 9 steps towards me. That's the truth. That's really the truth. It's not just that I go, because everything is Ishvara here. It's not a person who's coming to meet me. When I open up towards Ishvara, around me, everywhere is Ishvara. So Ishvara literally is surrounding me, is embracing me. Then where is the, what is the obstacle? It is me, my ajnanam, my thinking that I am different from Ishvara. That is the one which is preventing me from, going into that or understanding. Ishvara is there, all the time there. It is like the sea literally moving towards the river as the river is moving towards the sea. And at the delta, the sea has come almost a few miles literally to receive the river. So that is what called as tanmayatvam. You're completely lost in that. No individuality remains at all. Absolutely. Nama rupe vihaya. Okay. Yatha. Okay. Nadhyaha. In Sagara they meet. Where do you find it? In Mundakopanishad. Isn't it? Just like all these nadis. Nama rupe vihaya. They give up their nama and rupa and ultimately they merge with the ocean. Ultimately that is it. And when that merging is there is no question of any difference between the two. The example should be taken only till there. But in our search for Ishvara, in our journey, Ishvara is all around. Ishvara is not only in one place. Ishvara is all around. And when I am open, when my heart is open, Ishvara is everywhere. Ishvara is there just literally engulfing me. There's no question of any separateness. Now also I am engulfed with Ishvara. But I don't see it. Because I don't have the jnana chakshu to see that, to understand that. And what do these kind of texts teach me? What does Vedanta teach me? What do these Bhakti Sutras teach me? They just give me a vision. Open your eyes, open your heart, see. You don't have to go to meet Ishvara. Ishvara is already there waiting for you. He's embracing you. You only need to see that there is no difference between me and you. That's all. That understanding, that samyak darshanam, that jnana chakshu, that's the only thing that is necessary to be done. Therefore, these bhaktas are what? These are tanmayas. They're totally purified by the presence of Ishvara. All their raga, shoka, moha is gone. All their kartritvam, bhoktritvam is gone. All their sanchita karmas are totally burnt off. So what happens to them? When they are Ishvara only, they are tanmaya, inseparable, you can't separate. Supposing you add sugar in water and nicely dissolve the sugar. It is tanmaya with water, correct? Can you separate now? Can you separate that sugar and water? No. Every molecule of water is sweet. It is tanmayatvam. And that is the understanding. That is, I am totally mixed or totally, completely, like cross and this thing, warp and woof. Ishvara is the warp and woof where I am there. Therefore, such people are the ones in whose presence everything gets sanctified. Because they are tanmayas. They are ultimately that Ishvara only. Then the 71st sutra, which I was talking to you some time back. Modante pitaraha nrityanti devataha sanathaha cha iyam bhuhu bhavati. Whatever, it is an extension of the 69th verse, and also it is the 68th and 69th verse. Okay. Pavanani kurvanti. We saw pavayanti kulani prithvincha, and then tirthi kurvanti tirthani sukarmi kurvanti karmani. Those two, 68 and 69th, this sutra is now explained here in the 71st sutra. Modante pitaraha. All the pitrus, okay, the ancestors, pitrus who are in the pitraloka, the pitrus. Nrityanti, modante pitaraha. It seems the pitrus are very happy. The pitrus are, it seems, very happy that at least there is one person born in our kula who has gone out of the samsara bandhana, gone beyond the samsara arnava. And naturally the effect of that is pavayanti kulani. We also are purified by that. So you can imagine, one jnani, in a family means it's a great blessing. It's a great blessing from the Lord, where everybody gets benefited. It's like sun rising, the light of the sun, heat of the sun, how it, pervades into everybody and everything. A jnani's jnanam and bhakti percolates into hundreds of people around him, including his family. So, modante pitaraha. Pitras are very happy. Why? Because not only this, as I mentioned, a bhakta, jnani, will also bring many people back into doing the dharma karyas, like pitru karyas, etc., which again is something which is necessary for the well-being of the pitrus. So, modante pitaraha nrityanti devataha. Nrityanti devataha. Why? Because again, many people are brought into the dharmic path of worship, yajnas, offering to the gods. Okay? Dana, tapaha, yajna, dana, tapaha. What did Lord Krishna say? Never give up yajna, dana, tapaha. Okay, kartavyam eva. Yajna, dana, tapaha. Yajna means worship in any form. Need not be very elaborate, puja. No. Yajna means offering something to the Lord, worshipping the Lord. Dana, sharing whatever I have with other people who don't have it. Yajna, dana, tapaha, discipline. So when in the influence of such people, many people are brought back into the Dharma Marga where yajna, dana, tapaha, pitrukarya, tirthakshetra visits, worship, all these things get more and more established. And therefore, the devatas are also happy. Dharma is being established. The devatas are also getting their due in the form of yajna, in the form of havis, whatever it is that they have to get by our, kind of a, worship. They are also getting. So, modante pitaraha nrityanti devataha. It seems devatas literally dance. They dance out of happiness. Because devatas, it seems, are very unhappy when adharma becomes more and more and more. Asuri sampat increases in people. So the devatas are also happy, they are dancing. Sanathaha cha iyam bhuhu bhavati. Sanatha cha iyam bhuhu. Bhuhu means bhumi. Bhuhu bhavati sanatha. Sanatha means the earth feels protected. Because there are people like these who really protect the earth. So it says, Sanatha cha iyam bhuhu bhavati. Bhur bhavati means bhuhu bhavati. Bhumi, Medini. Okay, becomes, protected. Mother Earth feels more protected. So this is the Mahima, Tanmayaha. So it's Ishvara only. But then when a human being who has the potential to become Ishvara, to understand that he's become, I won't say. Every human, every jiva is Ishvara. But the potential of understanding that I am Ishvara is not there in everybody. So that potential to understand that I am Ishvara, I am Brahman, that is something when it happens, even one Jnani Bhakta, one Avatara Purusha, it seems, Sanatha cha iyam bhuhu bhavati. The earth feels happy and protected. I got one more quote from somewhere. Aspotayanti pitaraha. Aspotayanti means what? They clap. They are happy. They are clapping in happiness. Nrityanti cha pitamaha. All the great grandfathers and our pitrus are dancing. Pitamaha. Madvamshe Vaishnavo Jataha. In my Vamsha, a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means here not Vaishnava, Shaiva, not that. A great Bhakta, a Jnani Bhakta is born. Madvamshe Vaishnava, Vaishnavo Jataha. Okay. Sa Naha Trata Bhavishyati. Sa, that Vaishnava or that Jnani Bhakta, Naha, for us, Trata Bhavishyati. He is going to become our Trata. Trata means what? The one who will take us also across the samsara. So in one of the Puranic sayings, this is Aspotayanti Pitara, Nrityanti cha Pitamaha, Madvamshe Vaishnavo Jataha, Sa Naha Trata Bhavishyati. He will be the one who will take us all across, like the Noah's Ark, taking us. So he'll take all of us across the suffering of samsara. Okay, so Then in the 72nd sutra, we'll just start this, we may not be able to complete it. Nasti teshu jatihi vidya rupa kula dhana kriyadi bhedaha. Okay. Nasti teshu, in bhaktas, among bhaktas. Nasti, there is nothing. What? Jatihi. There's no question of jati. Does God have a jati? No. Ishvara does not have a jati, isn't it? Similarly, nasti teshu jatihi, doesn't belong to any group. Okay? He can't be called as he belongs to this group or that group. No. Sajatiya vijatiya swagata bheda rahita brahma. We have heard that, no? No sajatiya bheda, no vijatiya bheda, no, swagata bheda. So jatihi here means in a bhakta is without any kind of a division. A bhakta cannot be grouped or divided into any particular sect or anything like that. A bhakta is a bhakta. That's it. Vidya, rupa, kula, dhana, kriyadi bhedaha. A bhakta can be that vidya or our laukika vidya has nothing to do with a parabhakta. He may be an educated person, uneducated person, a scholar or not a scholar at all. Rupa, how he looks, what he looks, how he is, how he dresses, you cannot make out a bhakta by that. There's no question of any particular rupa to identify a bhakta. Kula, a bhakta can be born in any kula. There is no kula bheda among the bhaktas. Any kula it can be. Okay. Then you may have dhana, no dhana bheda. There may be a bhakta belonging to a very influential or wealthy family. There may be a bhakta who's absolutely coming from the lowest strata of the society. Okay. Kriya, what a bhakta was doing earlier, there is no kriya bheda also there. So there's no question of any kind of a distinction or discrimination with regard to his origin or what he does or what he is, educated. Nothing. These are all belonging to the jiva, to the body, that's all. These are all vyavaharika divisions. But when a bhakta is a parabhakta, there is no question of any division whatsoever in any of the bhaktas. Nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu gurus sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkham apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat.